Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Lone Star Chick Plans, and we are back again with another video this week, and we're going to be going over the budget for March paycheck number 2. So let's get into the numbers. So for income, we have $286.47 that we are starting with rollover from last paycheck, because we were under budget in some categories. So we're rolling that over into this paycheck. So far for paycheck came in at $2082.65. I've got $200 from my son. I deposited $39 from my sinking funds for something that I purchased for my car. I did transfer $125.43 from my savings to cover the fee for filing my taxes. And then I got some $25 of cash from my husband. So that is income. So far for income, we've got $2,472.08. And let's get into the bills here. We'll start with savings. For savings, I transferred $125 into our house savings. For sinking funds, we did pull $531 for sinking funds, which that video came out earlier today, so you should be seeing that video for the cash stuffing. Investments, I did transfer $10 to my SoFi IRA. That came out, and we've got, let's see, bills. For bills, we've got our water bill. That came in at $58.65. That was paid. Hulu doesn't come out until the 21st, and that's $3.24. Epidemic Sound, I did sign up for Epidemic Sound, so I can try to see if I use that for my YouTube channel in the videos you guys see. I've searched for some songs, but I haven't quite used it fully yet. But I'm gonna try it, and I did do a week trial, and then it charged me the $17.99. So that did come out. I'm gonna just try it and see for a month or two and see if I like it or not. So for debt, we made our loan number 2 payment for $268, and we did make our final payment on Care Credit. That is now another debt paid in full, knocked off the list. We'll see that in our debt update at the end of the month, probably within the next week or so. I'll be doing that video because I'm pretty much done with paying debt this month. I'm not going to pay, I don't have any more funds to pay anything else. So I'll just go ahead and do that video for the update. But yes, guys, that was paid. I kind of created this budget focusing on that number to be able to meet that goal this month. So this budget was actually a reflection of that. So it was kind of important to have that rollover from my last pay period, just in case I needed it in the budget for this pay period to be able to make this payment in full and be done with it. So that's kind of how I based my budget. So some of my numbers on my normal budget numbers were a little bit lower because I was trying to meet that goal. So that was the only place that I could really cut from. I really don't want to cut from my sinking funds because I really need all those dollars for all of those things coming up. So I didn't really want to pull back on that number too much. So the only other place to pull it from was my variables. So that's where I pulled it from. So for groceries, we've got $472 budgeted. I've already spent $338, and we'll get into that in a minute. Eating out, I budgeted $70. Gas, I budgeted $75. Pets, $50.87. Beauty is $110. Spending $75. Household, $100.36, and we'll see why below. I'll tell you that in a minute. Cart maintenance, this was the stuff, the thing I bought for my car. That was $38.42. So I did add that here because I did pull that from my sinking funds. So I just made that its own category instead of just putting it in spending. I could have done that too, but I want to keep track of what I'm spending from what sinking fund category. So that's why, for my personal tracking purposes, that's why I separated it out. Just in case you were wondering why. And the same thing for household. I kind of want to track how much I'm spending every month in these categories that I'm creating sinking funds for, so that I can kind of see how I'm trending, which will also guide me in how much I need to be saving for those items and how often I'm buying things. So for those reasons, that's why I want to be sure that I'm tracking it separately. Taxes, I did do my taxes, and so that fee was $125.43 with TurboTax. So that is what that is. So let's get into some spending. I do have a couple of things I need to update, and I thought, well, instead of doing it off camera, I would do it on camera with you today and then just kind of do like a little time lapse. So this way you can see my process. So normally my process would be I would kind of pre-plan my budget for this paycheck based off of what I got my last paycheck on income. And I wouldn't plan for any extra income. I would just budget my paycheck only. And then when I get my paycheck and it hits my bank and I know what I'm getting exactly, then I'll come in here and finalize my budget. And if I need to pull back in certain categories and lessen those amounts, I will, in order to meet my goals that I have set for this month. So that's kind of my process on how I do it. I mean, I'm pretty much paying the same bills on each paycheck. That doesn't really normally change. Like paycheck number 2 is usually, these bills only, and then these debt payments that I need to make. But now come next month, that will change because I won't have to make this debt payment on this day. So that kind of changes that. So things do change from month to month, but for the most part, things stay the same. So I try to budget the same amounts in my variable expenses categories, like the main ones, like, beauty, groceries, gas, pets, eating out. Like I try to do the same amount, so this way I kind of have a consistent budget, but when I do need to pull back, I will, and I will try to do my best to stick to those numbers. So that's kind of how my budget process works. That's kind of what I do. So I kind of just copy paste my budget every month and then just kind of tweak it as I get paid to whatever's going on in that time frame. So that's kind of how I did this paycheck. So I was kind of prepared before my paycheck. I really didn't have to make too many changes, except for like maybe update this amount, adjust some of my categories here, and then there were some things that I needed to buy, so I was like, okay, I need to adjust my budget numbers to meet those categories. So that's kind of how I worked it all out in my head. But for spending, this is where we are so far. So got my epidemic sound, that was $17.99. I did buy some household items, which were, I bought some Dawn, the power wash. I bought toothpaste. I bought some Swiffer mop, Swiffer mop things. Some color catchers, which I cannot spell. So I got some color catchers, some fabric softener, parchment papers. I got some sponges, and I got some like little silicone muffin pans that I've been needing and I just hadn't bought yet. So I went ahead and bought those because I saw a good deal on Amazon. So I got all of these things on Amazon. I just did like a big, huge order, and it turned out to be $100.36. So it was like 2 separate orders that equaled out. So I just put them all together to save lines. So that was that. Loan number 2 payment was made. My care credit final payment was made for $554.24. So now that budget line item is 0, and I can take that off next month's budget. So that's awesome. I did get myself a pedicure for $45. I bought a trunk liner for my car that I've been needing. My trunk has like a little leak in it. It, like, when it rains or if I go through like the car wash, it like leaks water into my trunk, and so the carpet in the trunk stays consistently wet all of the time, and so anything that I put in there also gets wet if that is wet. So I bought this trunk liner to hopefully it'll catch the water, and then if I like see the water, I can like clean it up before it ruins all of my things that I put in my trunk, and plus help with the smell and the mold and all that. So I'm hoping this trunk liner will work. So I took that out of my car maintenance sinking fund that I had, and I had $38.42, and so I pulled $39, and that's what I deposited in the bank. So I'll just leave that little bit of difference in change in my bank account. I did buy the Budget Mom printable workbook. I want to try to use that on paper and see if I like it or not. I do like what I'm using now, but I usually try to budget like on paper, but I'm also keeping it on paper because I do make notes, I do update things. I am a planner girl, so I do like to use my planner. So maybe once I get it set it up, I'll share that with you guys how I use it. But I do use it in tandem with this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is like my go-to, but I do use the paper planner budget stuff. So I do like to do it both ways. Just because on paper I can write notes, and on here it really, like, this spreadsheet is like locked down. See, it's like locked down with, you know, being able to do anything or make any kind of edits. It's kind of formatted to be used this way, so I don't want to change anything. So I like to use the paper because then I can make notes, and I do use a calendar on it and stuff like that for events and keeping track of stuff. So yeah, that long explanation, sorry for the rant, but that's, you know, so I bought that to try it out. It's the printable version, so like once you buy it once, you'll have it forever and you can just keep using it over and over again. So I plan on just printing it out to myself, and I will resize it down to the classic Happy Planner size because that's what I use, and that's what I'll use. So yeah, that's that. I did buy another box of Cliff Bars from Amazon. That was $17.29. I did get a coffee and breakfast sandwich on this day for $5.40. I did buy, so I don't get my nails done anymore. I used to, and I stopped when I really got serious about budgeting and paying off debt. I did in a former life do cosmetology, so I can do my own nails. So I started doing my own nails. Like, I don't like it, but I'll do it to save money. So I do allow myself to get lashes, and I'll get a pedicure every once in a while. But for the most part, I'll just try to do like my own nails at least and save a little bit of money there. So I bought some stuff like some nail files and buffers, and I needed like some more base coat, top coat, because I like to do like shellac because it just lasts longer. So I really needed to get some supplies to be able to do all that and continue, because I was just getting low and everything was just getting used and worn out. So I got re-upped on some of those things, which should last me for a few years. So hopefully I won't have to buy anything else anytime soon. So yeah, that was $40.23. We paid our water bill for $58.65. We filed our taxes for $125.43. I bought a little 3-tier rack on Amazon for all my polishes, because I'm going to be doing my mom's nails too. So, so that we can see what all we have, because I have so much stuff, you guys. So I really needed to get it organized. I just kind of had it thrown in like a cardboard box shoved under my bed, and I was just like, man, I don't even know what I have. So when I'm looking for like a specific color or something, I want to be able to like see what I have. So I bought like the little, like when you go to the nail salon and they have like the little nails on a little ring, and you can like pick your color from there. Like, so I bought one of those to do that for myself, and then I'll just like, you know, number everything so that I can really quickly see like what I have, what colors do I have, and then this way I know if there's like something I want to buy, I know I already have it or not. So yeah. So okay, for Sam's, I went and did a big huge Sam's order for $321.14. That was I bought a bunch of meat. I did this last month. Let me actually look that up. I want to look and see. Let me look it up and see. I want to see when I bought it, when I bought meat last. Because what ended up happening, which was really great, was that what I bought at Sam's lasted us for like a whole month, and I still have 2 meals that I never cooked that I could still make. So I'm trying to see when was the last time that I purchased from there. I'm looking on my spend. Okay, so I bought on February 10th. I spent about $150 on meat at Sam's. Now this time I bought more than that, but I also bought some like cleaning and household things that were also included in this amount. That's why it's so high. But I spent about $213 last month on February 10th. So that was like a whole month ago that meat has lasted, and now I did not have to buy anything until this week. So for that, I think I ended up getting like 15 or 16 meals out of all of that meat that I had previously bought. This time what I bought, I ended up getting, I think we counted about 22 meals, and I still have like some chicken tenders extra, and I bought a box of egg rolls that was also in addition to all those meals. So I'm hoping that spending this amount of money, which was still not my whole grocery budget, will last me another month before I have to buy any more meat. And so for now, my next thing to do this week will just be to buy like sides and the odds and ends, like eggs, milk, bread, stuff like that. So I'm hoping that will be the case, and then that would be good. So I spent some time on Saturday in the morning. I did the grocery pickup, the curbside, and I just paid the $4, did the curbside, and because that's their fee, $4. I'm not a plus member, like a premier, like plus Uchi Gucci member. I'm just a regular member. So it's $4 for me to do a curbside pickup, but it was great. Went smooth. I got everything that I needed, and super convenient. I didn't have to go into the store. I just shopped online and basically just copied and pasted what I bought last time. But I did get some additional packages of meat that I didn't get last time. So just to have a variety, because, we ate the same kind of cuts of meat the whole month. So yeah, so that's what I did. So hopefully I'm hoping that the rest of my grocery budget that I have left, which is $133, will be enough to buy sides for the next, 2 weeks or whatever we need. And that, would be enough. But the amount that I spent on meat should last us hopefully for a whole month. So my next weeks of grocery budget hopefully should be not the whole entire budget. I'm still going to budget that amount because, just in case. Plus we have Easter coming up, but I'm not interested in spending the whole amount if I can help it. So that's going to be my goal, is to see if we can come in under budget. And if this trend continues, then I'm going to keep doing it. So, it just makes sense. So that is how I'm doing that. So that is why that amount was so big, because yeah, that is a lot, but I did buy a lot. So I was kind of happy with that, and I'm hoping that, that will last. So we'll see. So next was $125 transferred to savings, $531 for sinking funds. My SoFi IRA transfer was $10. So I did cash in some rewards, and that was $25.92 for Capital One, which I'm going to put towards my spending. I did, these were for the buffers for my nails. That was $447. It shipped separately for some reason. It didn't all come in at the same time. So they charged me separately, so I put it on here separately. So now I'm going to update the rest of my transactions from the last couple of days that I hadn't already updated. And then we'll come back and talk about them. So hold on.
The universe has known it all along. Maybe this is where our story starts. Maybe it was written in the stars. Written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah. You, me.
Okay, so we're back. So this is the transactions from the last couple of days that I had. This was gas at the gas station. That was $30.10. I did buy a few odds and ends of groceries for $98.97. I did cash in rewards for my Amex card. That was $29.11, and I'm going to put that towards groceries. I did get my lashes refilled, and that ended up only being $30 because I had such great retention. I really didn't need like a full refill, so she only charged me like half the price versus the full price of $65. So I saved there. So hopefully, like, they'll last me for another 2 weeks, and I won't have to get them done to my next check. Me and my son did go out for breakfast after we picked up our Sam's order, and that was $32.05. So that's for all of our spending. I'm waiting for like a lot of these transactions to post so that I can pay my card back and settle it out for the week. But I did, so the blue is my Amex card. I have the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card, and I use it for groceries and gas to get rewards for the dollars that I would be spending, regardless of, you know, it would be money that I would have been spending anyway, so why not get some rewards for it? So I try to put my subscriptions, my gas, and my groceries on my American Express card, and then on my Capital One card, I basically use that for everything else. So spending, eating out, stuff like that, paying bills or whatever. So yellow is for my Capital One Saver Rewards card, but I have highlighted this in a different color because I already paid that out. So that way now I'm reconciling my expenses. Like, if when I add all this up, this should add up to the balance that I have on my card right now. So that is how I work that out. So I do have it in, I do highlight it in different colors so I can keep track of what I've paid so far, what I've reconciled. So that's how I do that. And I try to do that every week so that I can keep up. And so that, I'm also, reconciling to my bank account. So I created just a simple little cash register here so that I can keep up with, my bank balance. So this is saying, like, right now I have, from what I'm expecting to come out and what I'm expecting to put in, $1,270.31. So once everything settles out for my budget and I pay my card back, that bank balance will go down, and then that should match, that should match in the end. It should match this number right here. That's what I should have in my bank at the end once I pay my card back for everything that I've spent so far. And after I pay all the bills, like, all of that should settle out and equal to $294 in the budget, which is going to be this $218 right here, plus the $324 that I haven't paid yet, and then my buffer that would be sitting in my account still, plus this $10 over here from my SoFi IRA. No, actually, I already paid that. So, no, this, plus what I have, kind of like unbudgeted. That should equal my balance, $294.73, and that equals $294.70. So that's kind of how this budget sheet works. That's kind of how you can see the difference in your budget that you haven't used yet. So this is money you haven't spent. Like, you've accounted for it, so it's out of your budget column here on your projected amount. You're projected that you're only going to have 73. So assuming that you paid and spent all this money in these categories, this number is saying, assuming you spent all that money, this is how much you would be projected to have left. But if you're basing that and you're going off of your actual column, what we have actually spent is less than what we projected so far. So that leaves us with $218 that we haven't spent. So assuming that we didn't spend that money and that we didn't pay this one bill left, that we would have $294.73 with the rest of the amount that we did not budget. So this $73 right here, that isn't assigned to any category right now. That is just basically like, I left that as like a buffer in my bank account. I can spend that if I wanted to. I could assign that to my category, or I could just leave it here unbudgeted just in case something comes up. I do like to budget to zero, but I was trying to see if I could just roll that over into my next check and see how much I don't spend. So I didn't really assign that to a category. I just left that kind of like a buffer in my account unbudgeted. So we can call that, rollover, unbudgeted, whatever you want to call it. But all those three numbers added together equal this $294.73. And that is how you get back to that number. That's kind of how you reconcile that, how you can see that. Where is this number coming from? This number is coming from money we haven't spent yet. And if you're doing it correctly, then you should be able to get to that number too. So that's kind of how that number in that box works. So I really love this spreadsheet because you can just see all of those things quickly at a glance, and it's fast math. Sometimes if I'm in the store or something, I'll pull my budget up on my, Google Drive and my Google Sheets, and I will look at my budget and see, okay, how much do I have? How much do I have left to spend? Especially when I'm doing like grocery shopping or something like that. I'll just see like, okay, what do I have left in my budget? How much do I have left? How much do I need still? Like, that's kind of simple things that I'll do. Or like, oh man, did I pay this bill? I can't remember. I'm just curious or whatever, I'll look for stuff like that. When I'm spending, sometimes as I spend, like when I was at the gas station, previously, like I'll just, as I'm sitting and pumping gas, I'll pull up my budget real quick because I have it shortcutted on my phone, on my desktop, like on my phone. On my main menu, I'll have it favorited, my budget for the month, and I'll just pull it up real quick and add this quick expense. So I try to do it as I'm spending, but like I just did all this kind of like yesterday and today, so that's why I did that. But that's kind of how like I like to do it. But I like that this spreadsheet can be done from anywhere. It doesn't have to be just done on your computer or just on your tablet, and it can be done anywhere. I can just zoom in on my phone and type it in. So I really like that, and it saves automatically, so I don't ever have to worry about saving it. On this spreadsheet automatically saves itself. So it really is helpful. It really is fast. I do also like to reconcile on paper because sometimes when I'm playing with the numbers, like playing with these budget columns and categories, like sometimes, I just need to sit down and do math and really just plan out my budget, which, I'm going to have to do that for next month. I'm going to have to really sit down and calculate the numbers out. But yeah, so that is, how I like to use this spreadsheet to my advantage. I like to be able to see the numbers. Okay, so worst case scenario, if I spent everything, I would have $73 left in my bank at the end of this pay period. So this is kind of like, if emergency came up, this would be like my buffer to take care of it. So that's kind of how I see that number. So I do like to make this number 0 so that everything is budgeted out. So that's either saving or going to debt. But my only goal this month was to pay off my care credit. So I did that, and I will still have $73.35 left over. And that was because we underspent last paycheck in groceries and gas. So that was amazing, and that really helped this pay period's budget be successful. So yeah, guys, so we've got $218 left to spend. I don't think I'll spend too much of gas. Maybe one more tank. I'm not sure. Beauty, I definitely won't be spending this, so that, will cancel out what I've overspent in my spending category. That will also probably help me out in my grocery category because I probably will be spending more than this $63 for groceries. I do need like odds and ends and stuff for the next 2 weeks. So like, yeah, I'm definitely going to be spending that money. I still need to buy dog food, so I will be doing that probably today or tomorrow. So that definitely will probably be money spent. Eating out will probably definitely be spent because we've got some birthdays coming up. So, stuff like that. So this $73 is going to really come in handy because I may need that in my budget this month actually. So, in this pay period. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. That's the budget for this pay period. We'll do a check-in and see how we're doing next week. But yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, words of encouragement, whatever. Yeah, stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.